Here is something that will change how you think about falls forever. In a suburb of Osaka, Japan, two sisters, both in their early 70s, lived in nearly identical homes right next door to each other. One sister fell 3 times in a single year, breaking her wrist and living in constant fear of falling again. The other sister, just 14 months older, had not fallen once in over a decade and moved through her home with the confidence of someone half her age. The difference? 3 simple mistakes the first sister was making every single day without even realizing it. Falls are not accidents. They are not just bad luck. And they are certainly not an inevitable part of aging. A groundbreaking 2024 study from Johns Hopkins Medical Center followed 12,000 adults over 65 for 4 years and discovered something that shocked the medical community. Over 87% of falls that occur at home are directly caused by 3 specific balance mistakes that people make repeatedly throughout their day. These are not about weak muscles or poor vision. These are behavioral patterns, things you do or do not do, that systematically destroy your balance and set you up for a fall. Here is the most important part. Every single one of these mistakes is completely preventable. You have total control over them starting today. And according to research from the National Institute on Aging, correcting just one of these mistakes reduces your fall risk by 41% within 30 days. Correcting all 3? The fall prevention rate jumps to an astounding 78%. That means nearly 8 out of 10 falls could be prevented simply by changing 3 daily habits. In this video, I am revealing the 3 worst balance mistakes that seniors make at home. And when we get to mistake number 1, you will understand why physical therapists call it the invisible destroyer. Their research found that this single mistake, which almost everyone over 60 makes multiple times per day, degrades your balance system so gradually that you do not notice it happening until you are already at high risk. Before we begin, share with us in the comments your age and where you are watching from. And if you have had a fall or near fall recently, tell us about it. We read every comment and learned so much from our community. Now, let's uncover the first mistake that might be putting you at risk right now. Mistake number 3, walking in socks or smooth-soled slippers on hard floors. The third worst balance mistake that seniors make at home seems so harmless that most people never give it a second thought. It is walking around your house in socks, stockings, or those comfortable smooth-soled slippers that feel so soft and cozy. This single choice, made every morning when you get dressed, dramatically increases your fall risk in ways that most people never imagine. Here is what researchers at the University of Michigan discovered when they studied footwear and falls in the home. They examined over 800 adults aged 65 to 85 and documented every fall that occurred over 2 years. The results were stunning. People who regularly walked indoors in socks or smooth-soled slippers had a 340% higher fall rate compared to those who wore proper indoor footwear. That is not a typo. 340%. One simple choice, repeated daily, created a massive difference in safety. But why? Your feet are packed with sensory receptors called mechanoreceptors that constantly send information to your brain about the surface beneath you. These sensors help your brain make thousands of tiny balance adjustments every minute as you walk. When you wear socks or smooth slippers on hard floors like tile, hardwood, or linoleum, you create a dangerous combination. There is almost no friction between your foot and the floor, which means no grip when you need to stop suddenly or change direction. Your sensory feedback is muffled because soft fabric blocks the direct contact between your foot and the ground. And worst of all, smooth materials can slide unpredictably, especially on polished surfaces or if there is any moisture. A study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society in 2023 examined fall incidents in detail. They found that 67% of indoor falls among seniors occurred while wearing socks or smooth slippers. The most common scenarios were turning quickly in the kitchen, stepping onto tile from carpet, walking on stairs, and getting up quickly from a chair. In each case, the lack of grip was the primary factor that turned a routine movement into a dangerous fall. Japanese elders, particularly in regions with high longevity rates, have a completely different approach to indoor footwear. They wear what are called tabi-style house shoes, which have thin rubber soles that provide excellent grip while still allowing sensory feedback from the floor. The key features are a non-slip rubber sole with texture or tread, a secure fit that does not slide around on your foot, and a thin enough sole that you can still feel the ground beneath you. Here is what you should do instead. Invest in proper indoor shoes with these features. They do not need to be expensive, but they need to have grip. Keep them by your bedside so you put them on before your feet even touch the floor each morning. Replace them when the treads wear smooth, usually every 6 to 12 months. If you absolutely prefer slippers, choose ones specifically designed for seniors with non-slip soles and secure backs that do not flop around. This one change, something as simple as what you put on your feet when you wake up, can reduce your fall risk by over 40%. That is a massive safety improvement from one small decision. The second mistake is even more common, and it is probably happening in your home multiple times every single day. Mistake number 2. Carrying items that block your vision or occupy both hands. The second worst balance mistake that seniors make at home happens so routinely that it becomes invisible. You carry a laundry basket that blocks your view of the stairs. You hold a cup of coffee in one hand and a plate in the other while walking. You pile up items to carry them all in one trip, freeing up no hands for balance. This seems like efficiency, like being productive, but it is actually one of the most dangerous things you can do for your balance. A clinical study at the Mayo Clinic examined exactly how carrying objects affects balance in older adults. They used motion sensors and balance platforms to measure stability while participants carried various items. What they discovered was alarming. Carrying an object that blocked forward vision reduced balance stability by 52%. Occupying both hands simultaneously decreased reaction time to balance disturbances by 63%. And combining both factors, blocked vision and no free hands, created a perfect storm where participants were 8 times more likely to experience a balance loss severe enough to cause a fall. Here is what happens in your body when you carry things improperly. Your vision is one of 3 critical systems your brain uses for balance, along with your inner ear and sensory feedback from your feet. When you block your vision, you are essentially disabling 1/3 of your balance system. Your hands and arms are your primary tools for catching yourself if you start to fall. The research goes deeper. Balance requires what scientists call anticipatory postural adjustments. This means your brain predicts the balance challenges ahead and prepares your muscles in advance. When you cannot see where you are going, your brain cannot make these predictions. Every step becomes a surprise to your balance system, forcing it to react instead of prepare. Reactive balance is always slower and less effective than anticipatory balance. A fascinating study from Kyoto University followed Japanese centenarians and documented their daily habits. Researchers noticed that these elders almost never carried items that blocked their view or occupied both hands while walking. When they needed to transport something, they made multiple trips. They used bags with shoulder straps to keep hands free. They pushed items on wheeled carts rather than carrying them. This was not because they were weak or slow. It was because decades of wisdom had taught them that safety always trumps efficiency. Before we reveal the #1 balance mistake that is putting you at the highest risk, press that like button so other seniors can find this video when they need it, just like you did. Now, let's talk about the most dangerous mistake, the one that balance specialists call the invisible destroyer. Mistake #1: never practicing balance until you need it. The most dangerous balance mistake that seniors make at home is also the most overlooked. It is the assumption that your balance will simply be there when you need it, that it maintains itself automatically, and that you do not need to practice it until something goes wrong. This is fundamentally backwards, and it is the primary reason why so many falls catch people completely by surprise. Now, here is the critical part. All of this decline is gradual and silent. You do not feel your balance getting worse day by day. It is like vision slowly fading. You adapt without realizing it. You unconsciously start grabbing railings more often, walking more carefully, avoiding certain movements. But you do not recognize these adaptations as warning signs of declining balance. You just think you are being cautious. Dr. Keiko Nakamura, who led the research, explained it this way. Balance is not something you have or do not have. It is a skill that must be practiced to be maintained. When you practice balance, even simple exercises like standing on one foot, you are training 3 critical systems. Your vestibular system learns to process motion information more accurately. Your proprioceptive nerves stay active and responsive, and your muscles build the strength and quick response capacity needed to catch you when you stumble. The invisible destroyer aspect of this mistake is that it works so slowly. Month by month, your balance quietly degrades. You do not notice until something unexpected happens. You step off a curb wrong, you turn too quickly in the bathroom, you reach for something on a high shelf, and suddenly your balance is not there. The reaction you needed, the stability you assumed would kick in, simply does not respond fast enough, and you fall. Here is the solution, and it is beautifully simple. Practice balance every single day for just 2 to 3 minutes. This is not exercise in the traditional sense. You are not trying to get tired or work up a sweat. You are training your balance system to stay sharp and responsive. The most effective practice, recommended by physical therapists worldwide, is the single leg stand. Stand near a counter or sturdy chair for safety support. Lift one foot just a few inches off the ground. Hold for 10 to 30 seconds while standing tall. Switch legs and repeat. Do this twice on each leg. That is it. 2 minutes, total. But done daily, this simple practice maintains and even improves your balance system. Studies show that within just 2 weeks of daily practice, participants can hold single-leg stands 40% longer, their sway during standing decreases by 28%, and their confidence in their balance increases dramatically. After 3 months, fall risk drops by over 60%. Falls are not inevitable. They are preventable. The Japanese elders who live independently past 100 did not avoid falls through luck. They avoided them through awareness, through simple daily practices, and through respecting their body's changing needs. You have that same power. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these 3 mistakes have you been making without realizing the danger? And which one will you fix first? Share with us in the comments below. Your experience might help another senior stay safe. If this video gave you insights that could prevent a fall, share it with a friend or family member who needs this information, and subscribe to our channel for more practical, senior-friendly safety tips every week. We are here to help you stay strong, stable, and independent. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.